Greetings aspirants. Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs program of CivicCentre IAS, where we discuss various important articles from the Hindu, the Indian Express and the PIB. Displayed are the list of articles that we are going to discuss in today's video. The first article of the day says that Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday launched the Dharti, Aaba, Janjatiya, Utkarsh Abhiyan, a package for basic scheme saturation in tribal majority villages across 550 districts at an event in Jharkhand's Hazirabad district. Furthermore, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, inaugurated and laid the foundation stone for various projects worth over Rs 80,000 crore in Hazaribagh of Jharkhand, focusing on the development and welfare of tribal communities. In this context, let us look at the key projects that are inaugurated. The first project is the Dharti, Aaba, Janjatiya, Utkarsh Abhiyan. Know that the total outlay of the program is over Rs 80,000 crores. Significantly, it aims to develop 63,000 tribal dominated villages across 549 districts. Furthermore, it focuses on improving socio-economic life and infrastructure for over 5 crore tribals. The second project is the Ekalavya Model Residential Schools, shortly EMRS. Under this, he inaugurated 40 schools and laid the foundation for 25 new ones. Furthermore, the budget almost doubled for each school to provide modern facilities and quality education. Moving on, the third project is Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Adivasi Nyaya Maha Abhiyan, in short PMJAY. It laid the foundation for projects worth Rs 1,360 crore. Also, it includes road construction, Anganwadis, multipurpose centers, and school hostels. Notable achievements primarily include electrifying over 75,800 particularly vulnerable tribal groups, that is the PVTG's households, and establishing 250 Vandan Vikas Kendras. See, the initiatives span 30 states and union territories with 25 interventions targeting gaps in social infrastructure, health, education, and livelihood. We also need to know that the Ayushman Bharat, which is the flagship scheme of the Government of India, was launched as recommended by the National Health Policy 2017 to achieve the vision of universal health coverage. Notably, this initiative has been designed to meet the Sustainable Development Goals and its underlying commitment, which is to leave no one behind. Now, what is the significance of it? See, the Ayushman Bharat is an attempt to move from sectoral and segmented approach of health service delivery to a comprehensive need-based healthcare service. Furthermore, this scheme aims to undertake path-breaking interventions to holistically address the healthcare system. The second article of the day says that the National Disability Network, that is NDN, a cohort of organizations and federations of persons with disabilities, has approached the central government seeking inclusion of persons with disabilities without any income or age criteria in the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, in short AB-PMJAY. See, in February 2018, the Government of India announced the creation of 150,000 health and wellness centers by transforming the existing sub-centers and primary health centers, in short PHCs. Notably, these centers are to deliver comprehensive primary health care, bringing healthcare closer to homes of people. Furthermore, they cover both maternal and child health services and non-communicable diseases, including free essential drugs and diagnostic services. Then, the second component is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, shortly known as PMJAY. See, the PMJAY is the world's largest health insurance assurance scheme fully financed by the government. Know that it provides a cover of Rs 5 lakhs per family per year for secondary and tertiary care hospitalization across public and private empaneled hospitals in India. Moving on, let's navigate through its features. See, the PMJAY provides cashless access to healthcare services for the beneficiary at the point of service. So, it covers up to 3 days of pre-hospitalization and 15 days post-hospitalization expenses such as diagnostics and medicines. Know that there is no restriction on the family size, age or gender. Furthermore, all pre-existing conditions are covered from day one. Notably, the benefits of the scheme are portable across the country. That is, a beneficiary can visit any empaneled public or private hospital in India to avail cashless treatment. Significantly, the National Health Authority, that is NHA, has been constituted as an autonomous entity under the Society Registration Act of 1860 for effective implementation of PMJAY in alliance with state governments. Additionally, the State Health Agency is the apex body of the state government responsible for the implementation of AB-PMJAY in the state. Let's move on to the third article of the day. It says that Securities and Exchange Board of India, in short SEBI, curbs on derivatives to protect investors and ensure market stability may hit volumes in futures and options, that is F&O contracts, according to experts. In this context, let us talk about Securities and Exchange Board of India. See, SEBI is a statutory body and a regulator of the securities market in India. Moreover, its main role is to protect investor interests, promote and regulate the securities market. SEBI was initially established in 1988 as a non-statutory body but gained statutory status through the SEBI Act of 1992. Now let's understand what are the key functions of SEBI. Firstly, SEBI controls the activities of stock exchanges in India. Secondly, it regards the rights of investors and ensures their investments are protected. Thirdly, SEBI regulates stock market activities to prevent fraud, ensuring fair market prices. And lastly, it provides educational resources to investors to enhance their knowledge of market operations. Now, what are its powers? See, it enforces rules and regulations to harmonize statutory regulations and ensure the professional functioning of intermediaries. And then SEBI can investigate market malpractices and take action against offenders. Next, if we look at SEBI's composition, the board consists of a chairman nominated by the union government and other members, including representatives from the Finance Ministry and the Reserve Bank of India. Know that the headquarters is in Mumbai with regional offices in Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Chennai and Delhi. Then there is something called Securities Appellate Tribunal, in short SAT. See, SAT is a separate body established to hear appeals from entities aggrieved by SEBI's decisions. Know that it consists of a presiding officer and 2 other members. The next article says that hundreds of copies of Environment Ministry's Elephant Census Report, that is, the status of elephant in India 2022-23, have been gathering dust since February this year. Notably, the government hasn't released the report, citing a delay in the census in the Northeast. In this context, let us look at the Elephant Census Report overview, that is the status of elephant in India 2022-23. See, the Environment Ministry's unreleased Elephant Census Report reviewed by the Indian Express reveals a 20% drop in elephant population from 5 years ago, with a 41% decline in the Central Indian and Eastern Ghats regions. Know that the report highlights several critical challenges, including habitat fragmentation and the impact of development projects. Now let us look at the key findings. Firstly, if we talk about the overall population decline, the elephant population in India has dropped by 20% compared to 2017. Furthermore, the Central Indian and Eastern Ghats saw the most significant decline with a 41% reduction. Looking at the specific losses in southern West Bengal, Jharkhand and Orissa, we can see that southern West Bengal has seen 84% decline, whereas Jharkhand with 68% decline Thirdly, Odisha with 54% decline. And lastly, Kerala's elephant population dropped by 51%, contributing to an 18% decline in the Western Ghats. Next, if you have to look at the regional variations, so the Shivalik Hills and the Gangetic Plain saw only 2% decline, indicating relative stability. Then, the Northeast accounts for a third of the total elephant population, but data for this region is incomplete, delaying the final report. Several challenges were also identified. The first one being unregulated mining and linear infrastructure, that is, roads and railways, have pushed elephants into previously unoccupied areas, increasing human-elephant conflicts. The second one, particularly in the Western Ghats, where expanding commercial plantations, farmland fencing, and human encroachment have disconnected elephant populations. Lastly, poaching, railway collisions, and electrocution are additional significant threats. The next article says that as refiners usually buy crude in advance for the requirements of the next couple of months, India's oil demand had softened in August in the run up to the peak refinery maintenance season in September. In this context, let us talk about India's crude oil imports in September 2024. See, India's crude oil imports saw a recovery in September as refineries prepared to resume operations after maintenance. Notably, the increase in import volumes have driven primarily by Saudi Arabia and Russia, with the overall oil demand expanding due to the approaching festival season. If we look at the key developments, see, firstly, with respect to Saudi Arabia's recovery, the oil imports from Saudi Arabia surged by 39.8% month on month to 0.73 million barrels per day, the highest since March 2024. Know that Saudi Arabia had previously lost market share in India due to higher prices compared to Russian and Iraqi oil, but has now reduced prices to become more competitive. So, market analysts expect Saudi oil imports to continue rising in the months coming if competitive pricing is maintained. Then, with respect to Russia's continued dominance, see, Russia remains India's largest supplier of crude oil, with imports rising 6.4% over August to 1.88 million barrels per day. Furthermore, Russian oil accounted for 40.2% of India's total crude oil imports in September, totaling 4.68 million barrels per day, a 5% increase from August. Notably, Indian refiners continue to prefer Russian oil due to discounted prices, despite the shrinking discounts since the start of the Ukraine war. Then, if we look at the major suppliers, see, Iraq is India's second largest supplier, provided 0.87 million barrels per day, accounting for 18.7% of India's oil imports in September. The UAE, which is India's fourth largest supplier, saw a 18.6% increase in exports to India, reaching 0.49 million barrels per day. Indian farmers are increasingly using the UAE's Marban crude for blending with Russia's Urals crude. Significantly, India is the world's third largest oil consumer, imports over 85% of its crude, making it highly sensitive to fluctuations in oil prices. The next article says that former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan exposes excluding food prices from headline inflation, stressing it undermines public trust. So he supports targeting a consumer-based basket to better reflect inflation expectations. Furthermore, Rajan critiques suggestions from the Economic Survey of India 2023-24, highlighting the need for RBI to manage overall prices levels. Then, he also emphasizes the importance of credible regulatory responses to allegations and supports lateral entry in the bureaucracy with careful consensus. In this context, let us talk about headline and core inflation. So, the headline inflation reflects the raw inflation figure based on the consumer price index, which tracks the cost of a fixed basket of goods. Know that it is reported monthly. Furthermore, it measures inflation by comparing the prices of goods and services in the current year to the base year's values. Know that headline inflation includes all items in the consumer price index, including food and fuel, making it more volatile. Then, what is their significance in economies? See, it is more relevant for developing economies where food and fuel constitute a larger share, that is up to 30 to 40% of the household consumption basket. Whereas in developed economies, food and fuel represents only 10 to 15% of the basket. Now let's move on to core inflation. See, it is a measure of inflation that excludes food and energy prices, which tend to be highly volatile. Know that core inflation is used to provide a more stable picture of underlying price trends by eliminating the noise from fluctuating food and fuel prices. Furthermore, it is often derived from the CPI, that is Consumer Price Index, by removing the volatile categories of food and energy. Significantly, core inflation is critical for assessing the impact of rising prices on consumer price and long-term inflationary trends. The next article says that data from the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, show that equity mutual funds invested Rs 1.92 lakh crore till September 27 this fiscal, while FPIs, that is foreign portfolio investments, invested Rs 83,289 crore, that is approximately $9.96 billion in the same period. See, FPI refers to the purchase and holding of a wide array of foreign financial assets by investors seeking to invest in a country outside their own. Know that the examples of FPIs include stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange traded funds, American Depository Receipts, that is ADRs, and Global Depository Receipts, that is GDRs. Furthermore, FPI is part of a country's capital account and is shown on its balance of payment. Notably, FPI generally intends to invest money into the foreign country's stock market to generate a quick return. Remember that in India, foreign portfolio investment is regulated by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI. Furthermore, FPI in India refers to investment groups or foreign institutional investors, that is FIIs, and qualified foreign investors, that is QFIs. Then, what drives the flow of FPI into a country? See, factors such as economic stability, growth prospects, favorable regulatory environments, and attractive returns draw FPI into a country. Now, what are the risks associated with FPI? The risks include currency fluctuations, political instability, different regulatory environments, and economic volatility in the foreign market. Significantly, FPI is often referred to as hot money because of its tendency to flee at the first signs of a trouble in an economy. Notably, FPI is more liquid, volatile, and therefore riskier than FDI. So, in this video, we have discussed 6 articles in total from the Hindu and the Indian Express. We'll be back with another video tomorrow. Thank you.